Okay, howdy folks, welcome back. Here we are, January 14th of 2023. Got the loop playing, and we had a significant CME come out right here. Boom, there's a little object in there, and then another one at the tail end of this loop coming out right here. That one, and then this one. And we'll go into that one a little bit later, but for right now, there's the loop going, and we'll start going frame by frame here in a minute and point out the object that's causing this CME. I think you can clearly see it. It's right there in the center. So, as we pull this up here a little bit, and then we'll pause it here on this event and zoom in on it here. Boom. Okay. So, let's back it up a little bit here. So here you can see our event underway, the instrument reacting to it. As it comes out, you can clearly see we have this black spheroid in the middle of all this plasma. We'll even come in and zoom in on this real quick. Okay. There's also another object right here, but they blacked it out. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue on through this. And something I want to point out here in a minute. All right, on this red side, let's come over to here real quick. Hopefully my computer picks this up, or the camera picks this up. We have our event underway, but you see this white streak coming through there? There is an object riding on this white streak, and it's creating this white streak. So I want you to notice that and watch as I progress through this. Here's our streak right here. Here's the streak on this side. And then our object is right here. And once it kind of clears this streak, let's go back a frame right here. I'm just going to zoom. I don't know if it's going to pick it up too well on this side, but maybe we'll tilt the camera a little bit. You can see this white circle with a dark patch in the middle. That is this object with plasma around the edge of it, around the outside of it, right there. Okay, and it's on this white streak. It's white. It's creating this white streak as it's pulling it out. Okay, so on the red side, you can see it there a little bit. Now let me pull the screen back down here, and we'll come over to this side. And just zoom in real quick. It's right here, okay? And what I believe we have going on is two objects. This one right here is all draped in plasma. It's all covered. It's got it surrounded almost all the way around it. This appears to be another dark object. I thought maybe it was the shadow or the ghost image, but it's offset. It's not riding this line. And as we progress through, you'll see here that it appears that we have two separate objects, because here's our first one, still surrounded with plasma right here, okay? And our instrument's reacting to it. It has the dent in it right there. Then as we progress out more, here, this is a good one. Now you can see, here's our round object. It's got white plasma going around the backside of it here. This next frame, you can still see it's making a dent in this, and this appears to be something else back behind it. Here's right there. Okay, and that was it on that event. All right, now let me back out of this real quick. And what I want to do is, while we're at this event, let's go over to Stereo A real quick, because Stereo A captured this event too. And watch right here. There's our object. See it? It's clear as a bell right there. Hello, Cale Gervin. Okay, anyways, back to this. So here's our object. It appears we had the second one right there. So let me just kind of pause this, back it up a little bit. Okay, because we had two. Here's the dark one, it seems like, passing, And then here's this one with plasma around it again, and I'm going to come zoom in on this image for you. Okay, I think you guys can see it. Here's our dark object surrounded by the plasma. That's the same one we were watching before. Back that up. Okay, so there's our object, clear as a bell, captured on stereo A. It's the same object that's surrounded by plasma there, moving out. Alright, I'll put this back into motion. Pull this out of the way a little bit. And you can see the plasma draping out behind it. You can see even some dammed up in front of it right there. Okay, so there's clearly an object that caused this CME, all right? So it was captured by two satellites. They collaborate each other. So over on this side, you can see our made a little curl Q type effect from this angle. Okay, so an object caused that CME. Now let's go back to here, because if my computer stops glitching there. All right, we covered this event. Then there's this secondary event that just starts underway right at the end right here. Boom. All right, back up here. Here we go. Here's another event, and if you back up a little bit, okay, so it appears there was something that initiated it up here, moving out. Then we have this blast, and it reaches from up here all the way to here, okay, so you see that's going to be a pretty good sized blast, and it appears we have some kind of dark object right here. Now, thanks to Mark over at Wages World, he reminded me of something I forgot a long time ago, is we can scroll down to here now and click on this event and see the 15th, the rest of this event here. So we'll start this into motion, and it's just a few frames here of this event. But then we can go through this frame by frame a little bit too. So pause it right there. Oops. Okay, so this is the next frame from where we left off. And here's our little black object right here. Here's our CME reaching from here all the way down to here. So this is going to be another big blast. And we'll go through it as it progresses. And it appears there was one right out here in front. I think yeah, it's really ghostly, but it's out in front of this, I believe, here. And then there's something else back in here. Let's just continue on, because this looks to be the crossing of magnetic field lines right here or something, creating this dark patch. Usually these objects are in the middle of these magnetic field bubbles. So as you can tell that we have two individual bubbles growing right here. And as we get to the last one here, make out a dark patch right here in the middle of this one. Is this even up on very well? Let's my screen a little bit better. So there might be our object in the middle of this magnetic bubble right about in there, it looks like. And there's a tiny little something in this field right here. That last frame almost looks like a little face with two eyes and mouth, nose and a mouth or whatever. Let me scroll that down. There we go. And then zoom in too, because there we go. Now let me back this out a little bit. They're kind of hard to spot what's going on in here. It almost looks like we have something in the middle. Almost looks like we have a round object right here, but it doesn't have a magnetic field unless it's part of this bubble or whatever. But I don't know. That one's a little hard to decipher. We're going to need all the rest of the data as it finishes moving out. Yeah, maybe right there. Anyways, so that is that. And now what I want to do is something I did last week, or yesterday, sorry. So tomorrow is going to be the 15th. We just saw the data on the 15th there, just a little bit that was 6 frames or 8 frames that we had there. But usually, typically, the these CMEs take about 3 days to reach Earth. So let's go back 3 days to the 12th, all right, and see if anything happened on the 12th. Because as this loads up, I want you to watch carefully what happens here on the 12th. Now, this is 3 days ago, but this is what we're expecting will be hitting Earth today or tomorrow. Boom. Did you see that big event right there? Pause it at the end here. Bam. Okay? Look how much plasma is in this event, okay? This event is heading south of the equator, probably. I would expect it to, affect the southern hemisphere, possibly. This is reaching out more in our direction, actually. So this could have an effect on both hemispheres of the planet. It's going out in front of the Earth. We are moving this way into it as it's coming out this way towards us. We're going to be moving into it. So I'm expecting probably some more solar weather tomorrow, or effects from this tomorrow. You can see weird shaped object there. I did a report on that one already, but what I wanted to do is do that, go back 3 days so we know what to expect tomorrow on the 15th. So I have a feeling tomorrow we will have some effects from that solar storm. Now, we did that. Let's go over to Abraham real quick here. There it is. And I want to show you a little report from here. Thank you for bearing with me. Okay. Whoops. Where's my magnifier? There we go. Let's come over to here and check out our X-ray flux. Here's that new CME that we're looking at on the 15th. This is today. That's tomorrow after this line. So technically this is already tomorrow's, the 15th. That's that long duration CME that we had there on the 15th. And then this is the duration CME that we had today. The other one that I showed you with the object in it, okay? And they're both pretty good at size M class. In fact, let's scroll down here. We had an M4, an M3.5, a 4.6, and that big one was a 6.0. So we had 4 M class flares today. And look at all these sunspots that we have that are all going off right now. And what was the other one I was going to show you? Here's this latest one coming off of this region right here. That'll be today's flare at 1:50 on the 15th, or tomorrow's flare, because this clock is a little bit ahead of all of our schedules. This is the other M-class flare that we saw earlier today that was coming off. And I think, what else was here that I wanted to show you real quick? What was it that I want to show? Oh, here, let's just go over here real quick to the CME tracker to see if they've updated this at all. No, it appears not, but apparently it appears that was coming our direction. Even though this says no Earth-directed CME events detected, I believe we will see this updated with something heading our way. So, okay, now let me go back here and we'll just check out the GFS real quick. Because we are still experiencing some wild weather out on the West Coast. Okay, ooh, it's been updated. Good, good, good. So here we are, our current conditions right now. Let's see, is the time and date in the frame? Yeah, it appears it. Here's our time and date, January 14th, and I'll just go through this kind of slow. Pick your part of the country where you're at. Whoops, let me get rid of this. Get it centered again. And let's just go, whoops, one frame at a time. So back up a little bit. So here we are, current conditions on January 14th. That storm finishes up on the west coast. The east coast is getting hit right here from almost like a nor'easter. Then, as we progress here, it kind of clears up. We're getting a break a little bit on the west coast, which they need for a minute because here comes more on the 18th. And then looks like the country clears out for a minute there. We can have a little all breathe for a minute. Some thunderstorms possibly down by Florida. This cold air mass moving down in on the 24th. Okay, now we're getting into where it gets unpredictable, but look at this. You guys down here, as if you haven't had enough and been beaten up enough, it looks like you guys, when this low pressure right here, let's follow it. Where'd it come from? Okay. When this low pressure moves down here to Mexico, and then it hangs out, and then starts to move up, and when it gets right here, this is going to be a nasty, nasty event. They're calling for snow in Oklahoma and Texas and stuff right here. Now, hopefully this is wrong, but it's been pretty accurate lately. And as we go through this event, look at this, you guys. Right in here, that's Tennessee, Arkansas, Missouri, northern, well, mainly Arkansas, Missouri. All this area is going to be getting their butts handed to them. That's a huge storm. It's going to affect the East Coast and everybody. I can see that knocking out power and doing a lot of damage. Tornadoes down there, as if we haven't had enough tornado activity already. All right, and that's about the end of the model there. Here's West Coast getting hit again. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let that loop play. Maybe we'll even zoom in on this. Oh, wait, we need to see the time and date, so. Okay, yeah, we'll close out with that GFS model run right there. The poor West Coast, you guys are flooded. Hopefully this event doesn't unfold like that because that did not look pretty. We'll keep monitoring this, and I'll keep updating you guys for this area and for that event because that one doesn't look too good. But here we are with a couple more storms on the West Coast and then clearing out a little bit. So thankfully we can breathe a little sigh of relief on the West Coast. Hopefully let these people recover and recuperate from all the devastation they've already had. So that's it for tonight. I love you all. God bless you all. I miss you all. And until my next video, bye.